welcome to the Tavern Chat Podcast. I am your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, your main proprietor of the Tenkar's Tavern blog, Discord server, media group, Facebook group, Discord server, and Twittering and that Instagram shit shite. If you hear a little background noise, this little like humming sound or purring sound, Ashley is standing right on top of my iPad. She thinks that this is for her. Right, girl? Yeah, you think it's for you. So, I was having this difficulty what to talk about today. But I got some information about somebody in our community who... it's like my extended family. You know, you get to know people when you go to conventions, when you are active online and in gaming. And people become more than just acquaintances. They become more than just friends. You get to see their family. You know their family. They are your extended family. And when you find out news that, health-wise, that isn't the news that anybody wants to hear, it hits home. Okay? And I'm sure most of us have gone through that within our family or immediate close circle of friends. It's never feels good. I mean, I've been through it from a personal experience. I had Hodgkin's lymphoma. It was apparently 9/11 related from being down at City Hall when the towers came down. And I am not ashamed to say that, you know, after my biopsy, after I was given my diagnosis from my surgeon in his office, my mother was with me, and I was told what I had, stage 2 Hodgkin's, and I walked out of that office, and we went to the car, and my mother was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." She's like, "You want me to drive back?" And I'm like, No, I got it. It's about 10, 15 minutes. And as I'm driving back, my cell phone rang, and it was my son, Chris. And, God, he was young. I'm trying to think back how old Chris was at the time. I don't know. 10, 11. And he wanted to know how my doctor's appointment went and when I'd be home. And I was like, "Oh, I'd be home in like 10 minutes. He goes, "Oh, okay. Well, then you drive safe and you call me when you get home." And what I did when I got home is I walked into the house. I walked up the stairs to the second floor, which is where I lived then, where I still live. And I got myself into the hallway, and I made it as far as the bathroom before I basically collapsed to the floor, curled up as a baby, and cried. I have no shame to say that. It is what happened. Because 9/11, I figured I was going to die, and I was okay with that. I'm like, 10 minutes from now, I could be dead. All right, what am I going to do? I'm going to yell at people and shove them and kick them in the ass and save as many lives as I can because it's what I'm supposed to do. And I wasn't going to die screaming or running or cowering. And yet when you... And by the way, I was sure on 9/11 I was as good as dead. God proved me wrong, but with Hodgkin's, it was it was one of those, well, at worst, you've got 6 months, and at best, you've got a whole life ahead of you. And it was that not knowing, I think, that really killed me. Not literally, obviously, but what really took my feet out from under me. Because the sure knowledge of I'm going to die, and that's not die running was different than I could die. I may die. There is a damn good chance. Because listen, the problem with us, we're gamers, right? And even the worst of us can figure out odds, right? And we know what the first thing that we do when we get diagnosed with something that is life threatening is we go to WebMD or some other fucking shit like that, and the first thing you do is, what's my life expectancy for? It's human nature. Now, I had a friend who was back at the time, had been pre-med years before, but by the way, there's just, if he's listening, and he occasionally does, congratulations, man, because you're where you need to be now. Excellent. He's the one that said to me, you do realize when you're reading those statistics, when you are reading that X number of people with your diagnosis don't make the 5-year mark or don't make the 2-year mark or whatever that mark is, you do realize that the people that you're in those numbers are people that have other conditions. And I was like, well, what the fuck are you talking about? And it's like, in my case, I remember I was looking at something where it was like, well, I think the 1-year survival rate was like 82% or something like that. And of course, I'm a D&D player, so right away I'm going, oh Jesus, that means it's an 18% chance. That's about 1 in 5, because again, we fucking know numbers. And he's like, well, you got to take out the people in that number that have pre-existing conditions, that have had other cancers or have had things like immunodeficiency disease and other stuff. And he goes, and when you take them out, then the numbers change to I think it was 94%. So now I'm going, well, what was, don't roll a 3 or less. Now I got to roll. Don't roll the 1, and I breathe a little bit better. But it's still not enough to make that go away, right? And in my case, it's 5 years after diagnosis, if you're still alive and kicking, that they consider you to be cured. And I got that diagnosis about 2 weeks after I married Rach. And I got that, you're cured, in my doctor's office, my oncologist. And I walked out, and I thought, it was raining that day, I remember this very clearly. And it was dark, and I got it because I had a late appointment, and I get to the car. And I got to the car and cried my fucking eyes out. Pretty much just like I did when I was given the initial diagnosis. Because you don't realize how long you hold on to that shit. You hold on to it for a long time. There's more than one person in our community right now that is going to be fighting an illness that is life-threatening. I don't know what their outcomes are going to be. I don't know what my outcomes are going to be. I beat cancer, now I got congestive heart failure, right? Life throws you curveballs, screwballs, knuckleballs. The best you can do is do the best you can do. In my case, I'm given... surviving putting on 60 pounds of water weight and 2 weeks in the fucking hospital, and then not being given my magical vest of life protection because the insurance companies
are scumbags.
Well, they're scumbags, but
mindless drones.
Well, but the doctor that denied me Rach wasn't.
I'm so glad it was a gynecologist who could tell you about your heart.
Yes.
And why you don't need that vest.
But what it comes down to is, I'm taking the opportunity I've been given right now to change my life. All right. And I'm hoping that I can only do for myself, but I feel for all of you. You're all my community. You know, I know people at stage 4 cancer and recently diagnosed, like this weekend, cancer. And you know what? You're all my extended family. And if I can help, you know how to ask. I know a portion of my audience does not believe in God, and I can understand why. This year is one fucked up year.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus. Literally. But I do have faith, and I do believe in the power of prayer. And we don't always get the answers that we want, but we do get the answers that we get. And I will be praying for this community, and I'll be praying for those in the community that have been given new challenges. And I pray for positive outcomes, but we take the outcomes that we're given. All right, folks. Listen, for the rest of us, COVID's still out there. Use your common sense. All right? Follow your doctor's advice. I am not a doctor. Thank God for that. Folks, be safe, be well, God bless, roll those dice. And I, God willing, will talk with you all tomorrow. Later, folks.